Ladies and gentlemen, today we have something that the little youngin, the little big youngin, want to check out today. Well, tell us what we gonna see, man.
Well, let's see. Dr. Umar Johnson, you know what I'm saying? He's he's an American, certified American psychiatrist. For the you know what I'm saying? So he works in school, but now he talks and stuff, and he really talks about how young black boys in the school system are really not. They don't really look for the strengths in young black boys. They look for the weaknesses in them. And then Nick Cannon mentions in here how he was tested for disability, but then they gave him another test, and he tested third highest in the nation for having special talents.
Oh, Nick?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but see how they tested him first was for what? To see what he was, see what he would be bad at. But let's go ahead and talk about it. Yeah, let's go watch it.
Oh, I know about that drug.
The American Psychiatric Association is indebted to the drug companies. They run it. They go to the APA and say, listen, we got a new medicine, so you got to create a disorder to feed this medicine. Wow. How much do they make off ADHD meds a year? $30 billion.
$30 billion?
$30 billion a year.
Shoot, that's the drug game right there.
It's the drug game. The Drug Enforcement Agency of America classifies Ritalin as a schedule.
Now, I was just wondering, why did he do like this when he said America? Did he like this? What was that about? Huh?
Because you know how America is religious, like you said. Like that goes back to what you said, Jesus 2020. That's what it goes back to. You know, we was just talking about Jesus 2020 and when people putting that in the government and stuff. It's not
in the political spectrum.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Schedule 2 drug. Ritalin, which is methylphenidate, is only a molecule away from crack.
Wow.
It has the same side effects as crack.
Wait, Ritalin is a molecule away from crack.
From crack cocaine. It's synthesized coke. You're mass incarcerating black men for selling drugs, but you're hyper-medicating black boys with the same drug that sent his father to jail. If selling drugs is so bad, if it's bad enough to send a boy's father to jail, how can it also be good enough to give to his son so he can sit still long enough to learn about Helen Keller, Anne Frank, and Christopher Columbus? If drugs are wrong, drugs are wrong.
Simple, yeah. And, you know.
He said Helen Keller. He said Helen Keller, man. Well, Ritalin, so one molecule away from crack and everything. Mm-hmm. Well, somebody got to let me know a little bit more about that because, crackheads don't really sit still. You know what I'm saying? Crackheads kind of, they get, they get. So is that one molecule stopping them from doing this?
Maybe that one molecule is, maybe that's the one molecule that's missing.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because like you say, the government has a schedule of drugs, 1 through 5. 2 through 4 can be used for medical practice. But Schedule 1 can't. That's heroin, cocaine, meth, amphetamines, you know what I'm saying? And then guess what else is on there? Marijuana. But that's a whole nother story. But that's been proven, that's something else. But I just like how, you know what I'm saying, what he says, he talks about how they're messing up young black boys now in elementary school, so when they go out and grow up and get in the real world, the mind's not all the way complete. It's not all the way right.
You said you didn't have to take that. Did you take that?
I know. I never personally did, but I was still diagnosed with being dyslexic, and I still have a problem with that because I always just see it as maybe I was just lazy, if anything, because, you know what I'm saying, I still had good grades and everything, you know what I mean? But just knowing how the government tries to really get black men, try to get us when we're younger, and then when we go throughout school, and, you know what I'm saying, really ploys are really set up in the school system and other stuff to really get us to fail. Finding those ploys have been interesting to me.
Also they can't get to the kids without the parents though.
Yeah, there's no doubt, no doubt.
I do know some who had that took Ritalin.
Oh, you do?
One day. I mean,
kids
being educated and everything. I've seen kids come in that's on Ritalin. And depending on how much they take or when they take it, they're like real calm and everything. But they're not really picking up what we're trying to teach them because they're too calm, too laid back.
Right.
But then the flip side is when they don't have it on it, they might be hyper and everything, but you just got to, kind of like change your teaching tactic to get to those type of students. But I'm not really familiar with Ritalin firsthand because, my kids never took it. Maybe they should. Maybe I should give them some and see what happens. No, my kids never took it, and I personally took it, but I just know that nowadays you hear more about it than you have from the past. Yeah. We used to say hyperactive. Man, they
well,
hyperactive,
in the early 80s, when my oldest sons were in school.
Me, 80s.
That was in the 80s, and in the 80s, in the 90s. That was Ritalin was prescribed a lot, and for children.
Really?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, like I said, I was in school.
They were prescribed all the time in school. They wanted to prescribe.
But I didn't know about
they wanted to prescribe it for my sons. I said, you're not giving my sons that drug. Nope. No. I said, the problem with the school system is that there are too many doggone women teaching.
Well, watch it now.
That's the bottom line.
Oh, Lord.
Boys need men teachers in school.
Calling me a female, man?
The gate. You don't open the gate.
Call me a female.
It doesn't matter. It's a matter of socialization. When I was in school, we had a lot of men teachers. And in school, when I had men teachers, they get the paddle and they take care of it, and all the boys are fine.
Well,
just fine.
One thing I gotta say, just give you a break right there. I'll just say, when I came up, like I graduated late '80s, '89. Woohoo! But anyway, thinking back at my teacher experience that I had, I did have a lot of female teachers. More females than male, but they beat me just the same. That paddle still hurt.
But you had men teachers in school too.
I had a couple men teachers, but I had more female teachers. And this wasn't
always been the case.
Yeah, this wasn't the 80s.
More female teachers.
That's one of the reasons why I chose to get in the education field, because I wanted to be a black male, get with the young black folks and talk to them, and PE on top of that, because that's why I'm grateful for the job I have, because so I could speak to those kids to see what else they have outside of sports. Being a PE teacher / coach in the different sports, I don't want them just to think that this is the only way out for me, or this is the only thing I could do, because there's a lot of smart, especially with technology. So that's why I want to talk to them more about what are the things you like to do outside of football or basketball?
Yeah, that's the key. That's the key.
Hey, exactly. You know how you say what you just said with technology and stuff? And shout out to my boy Brandon King, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him, because he had the thing called an IEP, something like I had called an individualized education plan. That's what it was called. Yeah. And so when you use that as a crutch, and they still use it, and you really use that as a crutch to get through school. That's what it is, and that's how I see it as. And of course, that really labels you as a failure. And so him being that, knowing people called him dumb, knowing he struggled in school, he didn't make the best of grades. But Brandon, as of last year of 2018, made $1 million. You know what I'm saying?
Can I have some? What's his
you
number?
know what I'm saying? So that should tell you what school really teaches you. This is a guy who's been called dumb, who's been called a failure. You know what I'm saying? Because he said it himself. And of course, I've heard it firsthand because I was in the same, classes separated from everybody else. And he made $1 million like 2 years ago. And now he lives in California. But you see how he's doing for himself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
well, don't let your children take Ritalin. I don't care what there's going on with them. More likely, a child that has is emotionally talented in a lot of different areas has to be challenged in other ways. And so my viewpoint is, I don't have anything against female teachers, of course not. But my point of view is that it's unbalanced. There's not a balanced number of men teachers in the school system as it is for female teachers. It should be balanced. And then a lot more children will come out better if they have a balance of teachers to give them from both sides. But and then when you take away having a child sit in a chair all day long, no, that's not a good way to educate. Sitting in a chair, students and children have to move around, so education has to change a lot. But don't give them Ritalin to make them sit still. That Ritalin stuff is going to damage their brain, their learning abilities. And then, by the way, for most of you who have dyslexic children, this is what you need to know. In history, dyslexic children are probably the most smartest and the most talented people on the earth, because they found ways to use their brain in ways that the average person in school can't teach about or understand. So if you have a dyslexic child, it means that they learn differently and they operate on a different level as far as learning and capacity. So there have been some great. I think Einstein was dyslexic. And somebody else. I can't remember who it was. Do you know who else was dyslexic that was famous?
I can't remember. I know Bella Thorne. She's famous. Has a little thing. So yeah, but hey,
who is that?
She was a
Bella Thorne.
She acted on Shake It Up on Disney, an old show a couple years back. But
that's
the only
actress.
thing. Yeah. I can't think of the other people right now.
Well, to end this off, those are all good things, and that's good that you spoke up saying that you were dyslexic and everything, because that's one thing. Understanding. I wouldn't even say disability, because I would try to say disability. You got the IEPs and all that stuff. Yeah. And my thing is always, that's why I wanted to be a coach and stuff, to try to figure out, strategically try to figure out, because everybody can learn.
Yeah.
You just got to figure out a way of getting your point across and getting them to learn a lesson. Mm-hmm. And sometimes they might have to run around the classroom to get the lesson, versus sitting behind a chair.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Let them loosen up a little bit. That's why when I'm a PE teacher, they come in. I like to talk to all the kids when they come in, boys and the girls, see where their mind is at outside of just sports. Because a lot of people try to just use sports as a way out.
Yeah,
but they have much more talent than that, that they could succeed in life. And that's what I'm trying to let them know, that you can have football and basketball and volleyball and all that stuff, but sometimes you might want to step out and, be an architect, get into music, do all kinds of stuff, be an artist, and
build assets.
Yeah, absolutely.
Build assets.
We're not going to hold you no longer, but if you all know anything about this Ritalin being a molecule away from being crack, feel free to,
Some chemists out there will be able to tell us. If you're a chemist, let us know.
Yeah, black chemist. Yeah.
If you're a chemist, let us know.
Yeah.
Put in the comments below. So that's pretty much all we got for you right now. We're going to get up out of here. This is the FnG Show +1. We are out.